Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. Following allegations that Dr. Bello Matawalle diverted funds meant for the cargo airport project in Zamfara state, Office of the former governor has urged Governor Dauda Lawal's administration to focus on governance and not to allow itself be distracted by raising false alarm. The office of the former governor slammed the current governor of trying to divert the attention of Zamfara people and beyond from his total failure to tackle immediately the current waves of security concerns ranging from mass abduction to waves of attacks, killings and maiming of hundreds of innocent people bedeviling the state, which he promised the people during his electioneering campaign. Well, joining us now on the morning show to highlight key achievements Zamfara State recorded under the administration of Dr. Bello Matawalle is Deyemi Saka, public affairs analyst, media consultant to Bello Matawalle. Welcome to the morning show.
Good morning. It's nice to be here.
Thank you very much for joining us on the morning show.
It's nice to be back here.
Yes, okay, fantastic. I mean, you heard in my introduction, you're here to highlight the key achievement of Dr. Bello Matawalle. I mean, I'd like to first of all ask, with the prevalence of banditry, you heard me talk about all of the things that are going on in Zamfara State at the moment. What exactly are you going to highlight this morning? Well,
before I dive into that, let me clear something. The allegation is based on either massive misinformation or as a result of poor proficiency in English language or lack of basic comprehension of English language. Because it will probably say embezzlement and what have you, embezzlement and misappropriation. The simple definition is you stealing or probably using what was under your care for personal gain. And if you look at the airport project, the ongoing airport project, I don't think in any of these documents or press releases and statements from the governor's office highlighted personal diversion of such funds for personal use of Bello Matawalle. So I need to put that out there.
However, are there clarifications?
Is it just
the allegations on the airport?
Yeah,
just the cargo airport
a lot
that you are debunking at this moment, because there are other allegations.
No, once you come with it, I'll probably give you a counter, whatever, argument, or probably extend the conversation.
But are there clarifications or evidence that the former governor's office can provide to counter these claims? Because you just said it, you made it very general, it's because people might not necessarily understand what misappropriation is. It's English. Do you have any evidence to counter these claims?
Yeah, I was in Zamfara June, July last year, I think, during the Salah period, and I was at the cargo airport. I took a tour around the state, and I will tell you that the cargo airport is not something existing on paper. It's existing. The projects are ongoing projects in real sense and in true word. And for somebody that have been to Zamfara a couple of times and know what is happening in Zamfara, the airport is important because that was the talking point of that, that brought about a lot of other allegations. The journey from Sokoto to Zamfara highlighted the plight of an average Zamfara when it comes to insecurity. Mm-hmm. On that stretch, very probably when you called a zone, something like you say should be heavily militarized because of banditry and insecurity. Between Sokoto and Zamfara, I just ran into 7 contingents of security personnel, 1 custom, 1 detachment of soldiers, 3 civil defense, and 2 police men stationed at different intervals. And you probably would see that when you drive from Sokoto to Zamfara, it's a suicidal mission, and you're trusting your life in God, that God, please see me through. So that's why somebody will be, any right-thinking Zamfara Nigerian will pity people of Zamfara to have an airport in Zamfara.
Mm. All right, I mean, let's put it this way. Give us an insight into the background of this fight between the former governor and his successor, Dauda Lawal. Is it, your principal, I mean, the man that you consult for, Dr. Matawalle, says it's political vendetta against this person. But if you elaborate on that, what really is the issue? Is it about the misappropriation or mismanagement of allegedly, of the funds? Or is it about the fact that insecurity seems to be overwhelming the new administration?
I probably want to jump at it from where the closure of your statement. I think it's the governor being overwhelmed by the task at hand. I think he felt it was just going to be a stroll in the park and it's going to get the job done. And whether we like it or not, some of us saw the attempt and, the deliberate character assassination in a bid to scuttle or probably scandalize Dr. Bello Muhammad Matawalle for moving forward politically or still becoming politically relevant. So you can't fight somebody. A fight should involve two people. But when somebody is fighting himself, because I don't see...
Well, you're fighting back.
No, we're not fighting back. We're probably explaining to Nigeria that this is one man fighting himself. There's no issue, there's no axe to grind, there's no issue to contend, or probably, there's nothing from Matawalle's side or Matawalle's camp. I think Dauda Lawal is handling the states. Maybe if he sits more in the states, he probably could understand what the people want and what the people in Zamfara are yearning for. There is a new wave of criminality in Zamfara. That local government headquarters, some are put in Mari local government some days ago, where you see bandits, if I can use the word, dressed like, properly dressed, and with AK-47 eating.
What local government?
Maru.
Maru.
It happened 3-4 days ago. And this is something that has been sustained. Insecurity now, banditry now is, in the capital. So the governor should get himself busy with governance, start looking for something to still keep him relevant or shoot up his popularity among people of Zamfara, Nigerians.
Yeah, but Dr. Matawalle also had a running battle with banditry and insecurity. What do you think? Maybe the governor might not concede, to that, but what do you think he can learn outside of asking him to stay more in the state, concentrate on the job? What do you think he can learn from how Dr. Matawalle dealt with those similar issues at that time?
Yeah, I'm so sure of it that Matawalle as a governor stepped into foreign policy or an international diplomacy when he brokered kind of an arrangement with the Niger Republic, because we realized that at that time, there was this cross-border banditry between Niger and Nigeria, and a lot of arrests were made on the Nigerian side that, brought about a massive reduction of banditry during this period. And away from that, I know, as a matter of fact, the support his government gave to security agents and personnel to ensure that people in Zamfara is safe to a very large extent. While I was with him, because I was in his village, Maradun, during the Salah break, he took his words. He said, I'd rather stay with my people than go on any courtesy call to any public figure. These are my people. I need to show them the present. I feel their pains and I'm on ground. At least let them know that there's security in the state. So that's what I can tell you.
Right. There is absolute insecurity in the state, and that was my first question. I was asking you, what exactly can you highlight? How did the governor tackle insecurity to start with, and what can he learn, like Steve had asked? I'd love to hear what exactly his key achievements were.
I said it was a collaborative effort with Niger Republic, and at the point it brought about, there was a time he shut down the borders of Zamfara state. And other governors in northwestern region, told the line. If, as at then, the presidency, because that's the President Muhammadu Buhari with his NSA, had gone a step further, shutting the international border, that would have cut the logistic arm of banditry. So the only thing they could do was to push away, without action and pronouncement, push away the bandits into the bush. They don't have the fighting troops to go after them when these guys' logistics have been cut off. But the federal government did not allow that policy to, be optimally achieved or effective. But to the best of his abilities and his knowledge, he did what he could do. A lot of arrests were made, which were not publicized, but a lot of arrests were made. In fact, at the point, there was somebody arrested that was related to the former governor of Sokoto State. All through his efforts.
So there were a lot of arrests, but they were not publicized. But why is it that ex-governor Matawalle has been accused so many times of different allegations of diversion of funds? Back in May, the EFCC had probed him over alleged diversion of funds through ex-governors' proxies and contractors. I'm not familiar with the result of that actual case at this moment. And I'd like to know how you can debunk that 70 million naira diversion of funds that was alleged that he...
And I think that was properly debunked even by now.
70 billion.
Yeah, by Matawale himself. Yes. And he said that was more of a mudslinging by the former FCC chair, Bauer. And he said it publicly that Bauer demanded him to give him something of money in United States dollars, and he declined. And that was what brought about the allegation. The EFCC is still there. You probably might say because it's in government, nothing can happen. But Obasanjo laid the precedence that once you're in government, even the EFCC can probe you. And I think that investigation has been, I think it's either still ongoing or concluded. I can't say for now, but I think to the best of my knowledge, nothing has come out from that investigation. It was just an allegation, and they've been unable to prove.
Well, as we start to wrap up, the current administration under Governor Dauda Lawal is, of course, emphasizing that governance and urging that the nation should not be distracted by what he has termed as false alarms. But looking forward, what role do you believe the opposition can play in supporting the current administration in Zamfara State? Because right now it just seems like, like you said, a lot of mudslinging. What areas are there possible for collaboration for the betterment of the state and its people?
There was a story that made round. There was a press conference by some Iowa groups demanding for declaration of state of emergency in Zamfara State because of the rising insecurity, and the governor's camp reacted promptly, and very unusual, that there's no cause for state of emergency, and even the Minister of State of Defense is from Zamfara, so they should join hands and make things happen. Coming from the governor, I'll probably expect the governor to probably, swallow or chew the humble pie, and, meet with, you can always meet with each other. You people are Zamfarans, you're from Zamfara. You love your people. Is it whether you like it or not? Either I'm from the PDP or the APC or HABGA. I come to seek the mandate of the people, saying I want to protect them, I love them, I want to serve you. So if it's about service, you should be able to ask, how were you able to do that? I'm not saying during the time of Matawale there were no crises, there were no issue of insecurity, but compared to where we were coming from, and compared to where we are now, I think he was able to do something that had been built upon, sustained. Zamfara was a hotbed before he got into office, and we knew what he did. Not saying he wiped it, because it does, like I said, it doesn't have the controlling troops. But with somebody that sat on the Intelligence Committee of the House of Representatives, now the Minister of State of Defense, I think the governor, for the sake of his people, should stop fighting himself and reach out to his former, can I say senior or predecessor, and say, please give me notes. Let's compare notes. 4 years time or 8 years time can still come take over for me, but I'm still here for us, for the sake of our people. Please help me to serve them better.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Deyemi Saka, for joining us on the morning show this morning. Thank you very much indeed.